All right. What's up, everybody? Thanks for tuning in to another episode of That's Just My Baby Daddy with your host, Mo and Kari. This episode is a little bit different, doing a baby daddy panel discussion, as this will be the season finale for season 1. So just going to introduce everybody and let them introduce themselves. As usual, I have Jakari, my favorite Gemini.
Say what up, though.
That's good. So since this is the final episode for this season, just last time, I need you to say, how many kids you got, how many baby mamas, all that good stuff.
I have my 10-year-old daughter, and I'm divorced. So I have one ex-wife / baby mama.
All right. Also joining us is my brother-in-law, Andre. How are you?
Yo, what's going on, Morgan? What's going on, fellas? I appreciate y'all having me on. I'm married and I have 2 kids, so 1 girl, 1 boy.
I don't know why it hasn't sunk in yet, but I was about to say, damn, you got 2 kids. I'm just so used to the smallest one.
We gotta spend more time. I blame you. Somehow it's your fault.
No. Don't put no more kids at my fault. I got enough to cover. And all the way from the church house, got Vaughn. What's up?
Oh man, how y'all doing? My name is Vaughn. You call me Prince or Yoda, whatever name fits the occasion. I've got 2 boys, Joseph and Aiden, 5 and 6, and they both have 2 different moms. So I am a lucky guy. And I am in a relationship right now.
So you're just juggling all types of women out here.
That's what it's about.
All right. And the original Gemini that I have known since MySpace existed, Orlin.
What's going on, y'all? So my name is Orlin. I got 2 little girls, divorced, currently in a relationship.
All right. So we got a variety of situations and children in the mix. So I appreciate all y'all coming on and speaking with me and talking about whatever nonsense I can come up with. But as usual, I always have a question of the day. I don't think I've asked this one. So I don't know if it's becoming a regular thing or it's trending, whatever. But, women are proposing to men more often, I guess, for whatever reason they find appealing. It's not going to happen for me. But if a woman was ever to propose to you, would you accept her proposal? Jakar, you already laughing, so.
Well, ain't no way, boy. You asking me now?
Yes, I'm asking you.
Man, no woman better not ever fucking embarrass me like that.
Yeah,
especially
that's about
okay.
where I'm at with it.
I'm not accepting that. Hell no.
You're not
she should know.
it.
Any woman should know where they stand in my life because you know how honest I am. So she would know better.
So fellas, I think probably you speak for all of us when you say that, bro. But why? Why wouldn't you?
Man, because I try not to speak for all men all the time, but I do think we kind of have a standard of the women that we want in our lives. And I doubt any woman that's proposing to us, she got to already know in the back of her mind, like, this man ain't going to never do it for me. You know what I'm saying? It got to be something in her mind. Like, because we know, especially we already been married. I think somebody said they was divorced too or whatever. I knew I was going to marry my wife when I met her. You know what I'm saying? Anybody else I met, I kind of knew where they could be like, oh, she could be a wife, maybe. Let me see what's going on. But as far as any woman with the idea of proposing to me, I know for a fact I don't like her like that.
Wouldn't you know that though before they propose to you? Wouldn't you kind of know she may be one of them type of women that would try that? You think they know?
I mean, I don't think a woman.
I know it's a new day and age, but I just can't. I personally can't get with it. I'm not taking it.
Can anyone on the call get with it? Can anybody get with it?
No, I ain't gonna lie to you. That's what I said. That's a hard no for me. I guess I agree with Boss Man on the. I don't know if embarrassing is the word, but that's kind of up the alley of where I'm at. I mean, and like you said too, I feel like you should already kind of know that I'm not gonna go for no shit like that. So
So y'all gonna tell her no in person in the moment?
I'll be the guy that says, you know what, I'll support whatever you want to do, right? If a woman wants to propose to a man, I support it. Now, would I necessarily let my woman propose to me? No, because I know for a fact that, hey, I know who I'm going to marry. I know the type of woman that I'm going to marry. So she wouldn't be for that. I'll put it like that, right? So she's not going to be the one that gets on her knee and say, baby, I want you to marry me. Because guess what? That tells me that, one, she doesn't trust me, right? She's the one who's already taking the lead, taking the step to say, you know what?
Right.
Since you're not
Exactly.
going to step up, all right? I'm going to step up for both of us, all right? So, but like I said, if that's what this generation wants to do, I go out and support it. Like, that's what you want to do. I support you in your decisions. It's a new age. I can't tell nobody to say that, hey, a woman shouldn't be able to propose to a man, but I am not gonna let my woman propose to me, and that's just who I am.
So in the moment, y'all still gonna be like, nah, or are you gonna?
I'm definitely saying no in the moment.
And just...
So it's a way you can do it. I think it's a way you can do it without absolutely destroying her. So say she does it in a public place, right? Like, obviously I would never accept that. You know what I mean? I love my wife, and I'm glad that she would never even think to do something like this. But if she did, I'll probably try to swag it out, probably say something like, get up, baby. Come on, what you doing? Girl, what you doing? Get up.
Right. Stop playing.
I wouldn't be like, I wouldn't try to embarrass her or make her feel less than, even though she has already embarrassed me at this point. I'm like,
would be more of like saying like, hey, so just like women, right? So when we propose to women, we have those conversations. Sometimes we don't have those conversations. Say, hey, I'm ready to take that step. Or even if we don't, and we take that leap and chance of faith and say, you know what, marry me. Like, would it be the difference of a woman saying, you know what, hey, babe, you get up, get off your knee and stuff like that? Is that what the stance that you taking? Because some women either, because it's in a public setting, they say yes, right? Would you say, you know what, hey, I'll say yes right now just to bear faith for you and just to keep your I guess your stature or whatever, like your stance or whatever, right? So you won't feel embarrassed as a woman, because you took, like, it takes a specific type of woman to get on her knee and say, will you marry me to a man? You see what I'm saying? Women, it takes a lot for women to take their shot at a man, let alone say, marry me. I can only imagine what type of anxiety they going through at that point. But would it be in a stance like that though?
So no, I hear you, and I completely understand. I think if I'm in my natural at that time, all right, she's supposed to be naturally feminine, and I'm supposed to be naturally masculine. That's just not how the law of nature works, in my opinion, right? And I hear you. I understand the sociology behind it. Like, you don't want to embarrass her, but quite frankly, I'm highly embarrassed already at this point. Exactly. So what I'm saying is, I'm gonna try to mitigate the situation by very politely saying, baby, get up, baby, what you doing, girl? Come on, I'll hug her. I'll probably whisper something very nice in her ear. We'll hug, and, everyone's happy. And then we'll walk off and we'll have the conversation in public. But in the moment, I'm not going to say yes in the moment, because you know what's going to happen after that? It's going to be all over the room. It's going to be on ball, right? It's going to be everywhere, and
and then you're going to have to do damage control, which is going to be worse.
Exactly. And honestly, to be sure, it's less about public and what they think. It's really more, I think, in how I feel. I'm just saying that it'll definitely get blown out of proportion.
Yeah, the public is going to aid, depending on what kind of women you're dealing with.
Oh, yeah.
The public going to tear you. The public's going to tear y'all apart.
Yes, right.
So we go off society. So we going off.
At that point, you just got to.
No, I'm not saying we going off society. I know we all like to say, like, yeah, we don't care about what people think, but you got to think. Everybody don't think like that. You know what I'm saying? So your partner might be on some, you like, man, whatever, you blowed it off. But now your partner like, well, I mean, it's kind of like, well, you shouldn't have recorded this shit, you know, type thing. And now you put it on the internet. You got to deal with that shit. You know what I'm saying? Don't tag me. I mean, like,
don't tag me.
Yeah, don't tag me. So
now you gotta break up, block, and delete.
Yeah, so I get what Orland's saying too. You know, for the type of woman that would have to do that, but for society, I feel like it's problematic, especially with I always talk to her about this, about the choices that women make with the men that they pick. You know, I just feel like it's real problematic that if she's asking him, like I said, she may trust him. We don't know. It's some couples out here. It's couples out. Yeah, it's couples out here who women propose to, and they're flourishing. It's working. She shot her shot at work. So I can't say it's not effective, but to the average man, like a man, you know what I'm saying, or what we define as a man, and being responsible for providing all, that whole spiel. I think it's problematic for the woman picking a man like that. I don't see no longevity in it at all. I feel like it's a waste of a fucking marriage.
Question I've had. And so on that note, before we get into it, well,
you want to play devil's advocate so bad, huh? You do. I know Jim.
They don't get no pass, Orland.
I'm on your ass today.
That's cool, man.
Okay, so I do have a question then. Just to start everything off, what defines a man? I know, you have this whole society that thrives off of social media. You have all the people who say, a woman can't define a man, and you got Kevin Samuels out here telling women what men is and what high value woman isn't, and this, that, and a third. So from the four of you, what is your thoughts, or what do you define as a man? Vaughn, since you're the youngest, I'm gonna ask you first.
That is fine. It's rare I'm the youngest in the room anyways. What defines a man? Of course, I feel like it's definitely different to everybody. But I feel like at the end of the day, I guess in one simple sentence, for me, a man is defined by somebody who pretty much takes care of business and gets the job done. Whatever the business may be, whether it be the kids, whether it be cleaning, whether it be really anything. I don't know. I can't say things are gender specific for me because they're not. So like I said, for me, it's handling the business, and at the end of the day, just kind of taking care of what needs to be taken care of, despite the emotions or anything else that may be going on. To me, that is what I would find as a man.
Okay. We're gonna alternate between Geminis. Y'all have sent, from all the conversations I've ever had between the two of you, you both have actually very similar opinions for the most part. And Jakari, you're always on the show. So Orland, you go first. How do you define a man?
So I can't really define a man, but I can define who I am. So what I feel like who I am to my woman is somebody that provides, somebody that respects, right? Who I am to my woman is somebody that listens, all right? So when it comes down to these hard-ass conversations that we need to have, I'm the one that leads, but sometimes I'm the one that sit back and have to take that passenger seat. So I think the society looks at man as the one who leads 100%, right? But as a man, sometimes we gotta take our ego and our pride aside and let that woman lead from time to time, right? And my whole thing is, I always said this, behind a great man is a great woman, all right? So I don't know if anybody agree with me on that one, but that's just my stance. Being able to provide, being able to lead, being able to sit back and let that woman lead, you know what I'm saying? As long as it's a partnership, that's what I decide as as being a man. I can't say for everybody else, so.
All right. Andre, what defines a man?
Oh man, come on, son. I'm sorry, y'all. Real quick. So to me, protector, provider, pastor, right? That's just the best way to sum it up. I do agree. I think Orland was saying that at times we need to put our pride to the side. We need to put our ego to the side. and, really delegate and lean upon the things that our wives are stronger than us at, potentially stronger than us at. But at all times, I believe we're the leaders. I believe that we don't have the we don't have the ability to take breaks. It's full gas. 100%. You are full tilt. You are totally responsible. If you lose your house, my in-laws aren't going to come looking for my wife. They're going to come looking for me. If something happens to my kids, no one's going to ask, okay, hey, why did Brittany let this happen? They're going to be looking for me. Same way God was looking for Adam, when things went down in the Garden of Eden. So not to go into that too much, but the reality is, I think to sum up what I think a man is, the buck stops here, right? You're responsible for everything.
Kari, what's man?
I feel like I'm piggybacking off everybody, but I pretty much got the same ideas, or I have the same ideology as far as what a man is for regardless of what society is. But I don't just protect, provide, and be the leader. That ego shit, that's real, and let that go. So, I ain't got much to add on than what they already said.
Okay, well, since you don't have much, then at what point do you feel like you became a man, and in the sense of what you believe a man is?
Honestly, through a lot of my mistakes, if I was to be honest with myself. So having to fall back and really see where I messed up and how I was acting childish or just with anything, life, it ain't even got to be about relationships, just in general. Just being responsible and being accountable pretty much for everything. So I get out like a strong when I was like 25, something like that. And I'm still building on it. Like I'm still learning. It's a learning process. It's a feeling process. It's a constant fucking learning process. Not perfect at it, but that's the whole intelligence theory. Like I know that I don't know everything, so I'm willing to learn more. You know what I'm saying? So I'm still learning to be an adult. I'm still learning to be a man until the day I fucking die.
Anybody else have a point where they feel like you believe that you are actually a man, and not just saying, I'm a man?
So I can give you an example where I thought I was a man, but I wasn't, right? So when I was married, right, and I always give this example to new people that, that's married now, who ask for advice. So my last marriage, my ex-wife, she didn't have no say-so, right? I ran that house, I felt like I was one leading, we do this, we do that. At the end of the day, I was setting the wrong example, and I believed in the wrong thing because I didn't have anybody to sit down and explain it to me. Like, hey, your wife is there for you, to assist you. Granted, we have this society saying that, to be a man, you should be able to lead and, be a protector of your house. You should be able to financially stable and everything, and whatever bills come, you should be the one paying for everything. All right. That's one of the reasons why my marriage failed, because I believed that what I thought was a man was wrong. But when I transitioned out of that divorce and I started actually dating and I started realizing like what it actually was to be a man, that was probably, I just turned 30. That was probably when I was 28, and I was married when I was 23, 28. All right. And that's when I realized, like, bro, I had the wrong thought process when I was married. I didn't communicate at all. I didn't communicate my thoughts. I didn't communicate with my spouse. I didn't communicate with the kids. And I ran that marriage through the fucking ground, bro. And that's just what it is. But now, since I dealt with that, and I ain't gonna lie, I went to therapy. I feel like in this community, our Black community, we need therapists. But I went through there, and it made me realize a lot of things that I didn't think about. or that I didn't embrace that I should have embraced. But hey, man, my next wife is gonna be my last one, so that's all that is.
So, I guess Vaughn and Andre, both of you are in relationships as well. I know I ran across a post, a video, something where there was a man and a woman, and both agreed, you know, there's a shortage of good Black men. You know, is that a statement that y'all agree with, or you hush? Is that a statement y'all would agree with? And I mean, it's more than, like Olin said, you know, it's more than just providing and being a protector. You know, just your character and how you treat women or how you treat people in general and stuff. So is that something y'all would agree with? Or, and also, you know, what could we do as a community of Black people to help raise all these younger boys to grow up to be good Black men?
I'll go. I think it's something I strongly, starkly disagree with. I couldn't disagree with it anymore. I would pose the question, what makes a good man, period? What makes a good man?
You asking me?
I'd pose the where are you looking? Yeah, because I agree with him too. That's I feel like that's a very irrational statement made out of emotion, you know, the lack thereof. Because I feel like, I mean, that's like obviously us saying, you know, it's not any women that listen around. Like, I mean, it is. You just gotta look, and you also gotta put more effort in. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, trust me, a lot of women don't listen. The girl I'm with now, I feel like sometimes is an issue, but I gotta do what he said. Gotta dial back, take my pride back, and say, okay, cool. Is it that she's not listening, or is it that maybe I'm just delivering the information in a way that she cannot comprehend? And that just, you know, that may be on me. So no, I don't think there's a shortage on good men. I just feel like it's a shortage on people that want to try. I think that's what that is.
I respect that. Andre, you had something else?
I don't think we have enough time.
Got plenty of time. Got plenty of time.
I've dedicated my life, and I mean this, to improving the image of the Black man. And I think it starts with self-education. That doesn't necessarily have to be education. It starts with knowing yourself, knowing your history, knowing your family and where they're from. You know, talking countless hours with my grandparents, knowing why, you know, I like some of the things that I do, some introspection on my life and what makes me tick. You know, really doing my best, man, to achieve self-actualization and knowing myself. And I got to be honest with you, like there's so many there's been so many years where the Black male image has just been drugged through the mud. I mean, just, I can't think of a time where Black men were celebrated and not just tolerated. And I'm serious. And I'm not talking about rappers. I'm not talking about athletes. I'm not talking about people you see on TV. I'm talking about everyday guys, you know? It's a normal thing to be a good dad, to be a good husband, to work hard, to do everything that you're supposed to do. It's labeled as normal. Right? That's not normal. That's extraordinary.
Right.
Now, we ourselves have to treat it as a normal thing. We, you know, hey, buddy, you know, my whatever. You know what I mean? Like you're supposed to do what you're supposed to do, but at the same time, like brothers, like if you're on this call or if you're watching this and you're taking care of business, good job. You're doing well. Keep doing it. I see you. The world needs more people like you, because I'm not going to sit here and act like I don't know that there's people who don't care about their kids, or there's people who don't, you know, hell, they don't care about each other. I mean, I know there's people like that too, but I got so many strong Black men in my life, and there's so many strong Black men that I was raised by that have just done such a fantastic job. I get so offended anytime I hear someone say there's not enough good Black men in the world. So you got to consider who's saying it.
Right. Well, I'm gonna start paying attention how I word my questions. I didn't say there was a shortage.
Hey, I'm
Oh,
glad,
no.
I'm glad
I know it's a question.
Right. That was my thing. I was like, who's saying that? Like, But who's speaking? There's not enough black men out there. Because I was like, I know a lot of black women that notice a lot of black women. I mean, black men out here. So it's who's saying it. It's probably Morgan. Is probably what. Yeah, you probably need to rework that one because there's a lot of us strong black men out here.
Well, it wasn't my wording. Like I said, it was a post or a video, and I'm gonna try to find it so I can, what's the word I'm looking for? Cited, whatever the word is.
You, Morgan.
Reference.
We know that it was right now, like in the world, like people are all, a lot of people are talking about this, and it runs deep. You could have honestly did the entire show on that question.
No doubt.
You could have did the show. You could have did the whole thing on that question.
On good black men. Well, I mean, also if anybody has any recommendations, all y'all got my number, so just throwing that out there. Okay. But moving on.
I was like, are we off that? Because we'll be on it all day.
No, yes. We're done. I'm done with it. So, today's society, none of us are raising our kids, I'm sure, the same way that we grew up. Our kids are in the technology age we grew up where, we didn't necessarily have electronics and things. So how is parenting in the society we live in today, how is that affecting your relationship with your kids? Everything now is a lot more out there. Some of that stuff we have to dig for and look for or hear word of mouth. Now, not that I find an issue with it, but the whole LGBTQ RSTUV is all in the shows regularly. Like I think there's a Disney show now that has like two girls in a relationship, and it's just a regular kids cartoon show. You have people who are, Johnny gets to wear his dress to school if he wants to because that's what he likes. So how do you feel those things affect how you parent now versus how you were raised?
Oh, you want me to go first?
Hey, whoever.
All right. So I'll put it like this, right? And I recently had a conversation. It was funny. That's why I started laughing. I recently had a conversation with my girlfriend about this, right? I'll start with one part. Your first part of it is with technology, right? So at the end of the day, my relationship with my daughters are great. I love my daughters. We always stay in contact, regardless of how much she stays on the game system, no matter how long she stays on her iPad or whatever she's using. We're still able to have that dialogue. And dialogue happens as soon as she gets in the car with me. She doesn't have any technology, she doesn't have anything. How was your day? We talk, all right? We keep that line of communication, all right? And then when we go home, still not able to use any type of technology, none of that stuff. We sit down at table, we sit at the dinner table, we even cook sometimes, all right? So once we cooking, we still talking, all right? And then when we eat, we talk. She does her homework on her laptop. Once she's done with her homework, I check it. You can do whatever the hell you want to do, all right? So as long as you as a parent keep that line of communication, your relationship will never fail. I promise you that. My daughter's open with me. She calls, she FaceTimes me. Hell, she does a lot of shit on her phone that I don't even know how to do on my phone. But that's just like the same time we was growing up. A lot of our parents didn't really rely on technology as much as we did. All right. But now it's the same thing as us. Like we really don't rely on technology as much as our kids now. Yes, we introduce them at a younger age just because we're able to. We're at a point where we can give them that access. All right. Now to go further on into the LGBTQ community question that you had, who's to say what is normal to you? Right. So when you say that Disney is introducing a lesbian couple into a show, right? There is a household, right, that is normal to them. Like, granted, we're heterosexuals and stuff like that. That's normal to us, right? But who's to say they can't have a platform for what they have. You know what I'm saying? So my girlfriend, she had to put it in perspective like that, because I raised my eyebrows at that, and I was like, yo, like, you know, why are they having these fucking cartoons with homosexuality and stuff like that? I feel like they just trying to push their agenda, right? But once you open your mind and figure out why do you think that way, it's because I'm a heterosexual male. All right, my house is heterosexual, right? So I believe in a way that, you know, this should be life. Like, we men should be with women should be with men, and then once you introduce it as a kid, you know, that should be the way of life. Now, once again, that's my household. We have homosexual couples that have kids. They don't see that, and they don't see that in TV. Just like as when we was growing up, we didn't see black people and kids. I mean, black people on television. All right, so we didn't have that. But now, since they introducing that, it's like, hey, you know what? Let's open this up. All right. So it's not just more of a race thing. It's more of, you know, sexuality. All right. I don't believe that. Now I'm saying all this, but I don't believe that certain things should be introduced at a certain age. I mean, but that's just me. That's my house. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't tell that person that shouldn't be taught in their household, or they shouldn't be looked at in their household. That's just them. I mean, but that's just my thought process, and that's just it.
I agree. There was another show I know me and the kids were watching on Netflix, and Kipo, and it was just kind of like randomly thrown in there, but they kind of just, they put it out there, but they didn't focus on it, which was fine, which I understood, because I mean, there's a lot of households who don't know how to approach that situation or that topic, because that's not their household. But like you said, there's plenty of households where that is their normal. So I think I came to a point to realize, like, you know, there's nothing wrong with that. But like you said, there's an age demographic where, you know, it's really not necessary to really dive into the depths of, like, hey, this is a whole relationship. Like, it's not necessary, because it's a children's show or whatever. So that's the demographic. So it doesn't have to be emphasized, but it is normal for some households. Some kids have two dads, some kids have two moms, some kids have trans parents. So you know, it's a lot of things that are, you know, it's so hard to say normal, of course, because everybody's normal is not, that's not universal. But I did have to, I think I caught it before the kids caught it. So I didn't really have to go into it. And I know there was a time where one of the boys asked me, like, Mommy, I think they asked, can a boy marry another boy? But he was only asking because he said something to his brother. They were talking about each other. And I was like, no, weirdo, you can't marry your brother. That's weird. Your family, that's your twin. And that was that. He didn't mean it in a gay sense or anything. So I was like, whew, that's the conversation I don't have to go into right now. And I've talked about it on other episodes where, you know, communication with my kids, it's pretty normal. I try to not make things awkward, because I was an awkward kid and I don't want them to have that growing up. Like, we've had the sex talk, so they know where babies come from. They know the general sense of those things. So I can have that open communication. And I think they did watch something. There was a short on Disney Plus where it was a gay couple, and I didn't catch them watching it until it was basically over. And I was like, do y'all know what happened there? And they didn't really, I think they thought one of the guys was a woman anyway, but I was like, no, that's two men, when they love each other. Quick and to the point. I ain't make it a big deal. I didn't make it seem like, ill, that's gross, oh, that's not normal, that's not okay. I just let it be what it is, and we moved on. They really don't be caring. Kari, what's your thoughts on parenting in this generation of children? Oh, that's nice. My rubber band pop.
I mean, I think now that our generation is learning, like in our age group, is we have a lot more tolerance for a lot of shit that we didn't, like our parents probably didn't have tolerance for back then. Like, even like letting us express ourselves or having opinions and, you know, shit like that. So Like with let's just say with my daughter, I let her express herself how she feel, like openly express herself. Like, you're not gonna get in trouble for telling me how you feel. You know, vice back in the day, I couldn't have damn near an opinion, you know what I'm saying, about how I feel or felt. And, you know, we all grew up to black men, the boys don't cry, the boys don't have emotions, you know, all that bullshit. So it's just like, you know, now I'm more, I listen, you know what I'm saying, to my kid now. It's more, and sometimes I catch myself when I be like, instead of giving that toxic answer, like, I'm grown, that's why, it's kind of like, you know what, let me just answer the question. It's not gonna kill me to answer this child's question. You know what I'm saying? She legitimately wants to know. She's growing up. She's about to be a teenager. So she's gonna have questions, you know. But past that, the alphabet people, my thing is, I never understood why folks gave a shit about what's going on in people's bedrooms. That was just kind of, that's always been my thing. Like, I get it, you know, simple biology, all that, you know, we need to reproduce, blah, blah, blah. But end of the day, that folks choosing to who they want to sleep with and all that don't really affect me at the end of the day. Just don't be a shitty fucking person. Like, that's just where I'm at with it. You know, I know it's some people with they strong religion background folks, just it's an abomination, blah, blah, blah. But it's just kind of like, you know, are we all really counting sins the way we should be every day? Honestly. But like I said, it don't affect me. As long as you're not a shitty person, I don't give a fuck what you are, for real. Like, that's just my thing. If I had a son, he grew up, we want to be, I love him the same way. Like, whatever, bro. Like, you're leaving more coochie for the next guy. You know, that's just kind of how like, that's just where I'm at with it. You know what I'm saying? That's just where I'm at with it. Like, it's more coochie for me, bro. Like, cool. I'm still single, so I you know, for me. But you know, my daughter, I kind of low key feel like my daughter might not like dudes or boys just by how she carrying herself now. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know us as men, we like to think, you know, yeah, you know, girls like the girls is cool, like, but then when it's your kid, it's kind of like, you know, maybe I might want a grandbaby one day, you know what I'm saying? But then it's like, should I really care about her choices and what makes her happy? No, not in the bedroom. If I'm gonna die any fucking way. I'm not gonna care whether I don't 100% know what's gonna happen after I pass. You know what I'm saying? I got a solid idea maybe, but at the end of the day, am I gonna really care? All I really care about why I'm alive is that my child is happy. Like, or whoever I'm dealing with is happy, or my friends are happy. I got gay homeboys. They don't talk to me about that shit. And when they do, they know I got boundaries. It's just like, hey, I don't have to like that shit. We can talk about it, but keep it at a minimum, bro. You know what I'm saying? Because I can't relate. Really, it's because I can't relate to you. It's not about, you know what I'm saying, me being gay. Like, nigga, I don't like niggas, bro. I don't know what to tell you. You know what I'm saying? So I don't just know. I just never understood why parents being the kids' business. It's just the logical side of it. Like, that's just it. It's just like, let your kid do what they're gonna do and let them be happy. Like, life is fucking hard enough, you know, either way. And you can't say cartoons and what they seeing on TV is all that shit making them gay, because a lot of people in our last generation ain't have all of that. They was gay bashing and doing all types of shit, and it's still gay men. There's still gay women. Like, so that's just logic. Like, it's not what they watching. You know, it's just how they feel. Obviously, if you're not gay, you're never gonna think. You're not gonna have their thought process. You know, they may be the anomalies. They're the anomalies because it's not natural or whatever for the order for the earth to go. Sure, but we can't. Scientifically, I can't tell a gay person why you're gay because you watch gay stuff on TV. It's like, I'm pretty sure that's not it. And even talking to my like gay homeboys, it was like, it's just how I felt. Like, I never was attracted to women. I'm just attracted to men. All right, cool. I like girls still. Like, ain't shit changed. You my gay homeboy. It don't make me gay that I have a gay homeboy. I'm secure with myself. Niggas can think that shit all they want, but once you get too far into it, them hyper super masculine men most of the time be gay. So every time I sing, or the super rah in and out of prison ass niggas all the time, usually fucking their homeboys. So it's just I can't, you know what I'm saying? So that's where I'm at with it. I just feel like we should mind our fucking business when it comes to their sexuality and what they want to do. But as far as guiding them through life and making sure they make better choices than what we made and setting them up best, Absolutely. Yeah, I'm gonna be in your business about why the fuck you getting all F's or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But you like boys, bro? All right, cool, bro. That's your thing. Other than that, that's my take on it.
So, Vaughn and Andre, this question would be for you then. Vaughn, you can go first, but is there anything currently that you are having a hard time with as dealing with just as being a father, or things that you wish that you learned sooner that are working for you now?
Yeah, actually, to be honest with you, there's a couple of things I guess I would say that aren't working as a father, but I won't even really say that. It's not even the father part. It's more so being a baby daddy away from the home. The issue I have is trying to implement things and stick, kind of have them stick. Because I could have my son in my house for a full month and we do something and, I completely get him in a whole groove and then he get back to his mom's house and it's done in 2 days. So that's probably my biggest issue right now is just trying to really get things to really stick with my child so that even when he gets to his mom's house, he remembers, oh yeah, my dad did tell me to do that. Or yeah, my dad did tell me how to handle, a situation like this with my youngest son. It's about it. Honestly. What was your second question?
Is there anything that you know now that you wish you would have learned sooner?
No, not really. I mean, I'm kind of learning as I go for real, especially being the youngest. And I mean, I had both of my kids at 22 and 23. So I've just kind of been learning as I go in general. I Everything is literally every day is a new lesson. Honestly, every day is a new lesson. Even trying to get full custody of both of the boys, everything is a full thing. Is now I have to answer more questions. My youngest son now is way more wordy than my older son. He's way more articulate. So he asks me such intelligent questions, and like homie said earlier, I get to the point where I'm like, well, I can't deny him the answer because he's 5, and I feel like he don't understand. I gotta be able to answer questions. So that's kind of where I'm at. I can't lie to you. It's a good question.
Andre, what about you? You're on mute.
I have to say you're on mute.
My bad. Appreciate it, yo. I think what I'm struggling with right now the most is, you hear about mom guilt, but dad guilt I think is a thing too. And as men, I think we can be passive at times and for the sake of peace and for the sake of not looking like you're complaining. But the reality is the dad guilt thing for me is no matter what I'm doing, like even if it's productive, like if it's for the community, I'm thinking in my mind, man, I'm doing this for the community. I don't even have my kids. I don't have my own kids with me. Or, even if I'm being productive working or something like that, I'm working too late. You know what I mean? Like even doing this Zoom right now, my son was like, Daddy, can you come sleep with me for 3 minutes? I do it every night. I said, hold on, buddy. Let me do this first. You know what I'm saying? So no matter what I'm doing, it always feels like there's more that I should be doing for my kids and for my family. There's more that I should be for them. And I don't know. I feel like there's this constant and never-ending pressure to be dad and to be present and to be whatever they need me to be. And I don't think that's ever going to go away. I think that's here to stay, and I'm just trying to navigate that really.
So,
and second question, was there a second part to that?
Yeah, it was let's see, you're about 38 now, right? So
33.
All right. All right, so you're 33 now. You've been married for a nice little minute, and you guys had your babies, pretty much planned for them, right? Both were kind of pretty much planned for it. So you got Andre and Bria. As you've had time to be just a young adult and then a married adult and then parents, is there any lessons in there that you wish that you learned a little sooner? Or is there anything, that what I know now, I wish I knew then, or how that saying goes?
Yeah, absolutely. And I again, this is where I say I really dedicated a lot of time to having conversations with my friends who are getting married, having kids. One thing that I wish that I knew before it happened, because I got married at 24, right? We waited 5 years before we had our first baby, and just about 3 years before we had our second. And I wish I knew that. I wish I knew more about postpartum. I wish I knew about how, after being with your wife for so long, just y'all two, I wish that I knew how it changes things in a big way. Child, specifically a boy. You know, my wife, she's grown in a big way. And y'all, I don't know if y'all are familiar with the 5 love languages, but mine, obviously, just like most men, are words of affirmation and physical touch, right? And she was raised by her dad, and primarily, and she really struggles with both. She's my wife is incredibly feminine and and yielding and nice and sweet and all those different things. But like some of my primary love languages, I didn't know she could do until my boy got here. So here I am. I'm looking at my wife. Oh, you're so handsome, and I love you so much, and all of this stuff. And I'm like, well, I didn't. I didn't even know.
So you do that.
Right? So you do that, right?
So he was a little jealous, huh?
Yeah. So I was jealous. Here come my son, especially when he can walk. He brings a little bow leg behind it here. He's opening the refrigerator. How come every time I come in the kitchen, you in the kitchen? You know what I mean? So I'm turning into pops. But I really wish I knew those things beforehand. I mean, and the list goes on. I mean, as a man, and Matt Morgan has taught me a lot. This, my father-in-law, how to select a fine cigar, a nice bottle of wine, how to pour champagne, how to know the difference between a champagne glass, Moet or Merlot glass, whiskey glass. You know what I mean? Like all of these.
Man, you making me look bad because I don't know none of that shit.
Well, I forced him. I forced him to teach me though. I was like, hey, Pop, what you doing right there? He said, oh, let me, you know what I'm talking about. But there's.
Now I will say all those fatherly lessons, and I tell anybody, my cooking is like hit or miss. The shit's gonna either be good or it's gonna be, maybe we can go grab some pizza or something tonight. But the one thing I won't mess up is a steak.
Oh yeah,
a little salt and pepper, little salt and pepper on there. But I think, I don't know, it was to me to watch you and Brittany, and my kids are older. Oh, geez. And so I raised my kids a lot differently than you guys. And so it was, I watch Zane now. If you've ever watched him around Andre, he doesn't know how to play around Andre, because a lot of the times you guys would say, hey, he's a baby, be careful, be gentle. And, Brittany was always there to like pick him up and stuff. And me, I'll let my kids fall and be like, hey, you shouldn't have been doing that shit. Like, I don't get up, just get up. And when Andre's around, I pretty much treat him the same way. Because that's not how my dad raised me. That's not really how my mom raised me either. It's just, not really tough love, but different. And it's so funny to see those things. But I did realize one of the twins treats him like that. Like, he doesn't know how to play, because Zane's kind of a big kid. He's the youngest one, but he's the biggest, and he kind of tiptoes around Andre. Like, he likes to play with him and stuff, but he doesn't know how to act around him and stuff. So it's interesting to see, how you guys have raised Andre so far, and you guys have Bria now. So you have this boy girl situation going on. So to move on, there's the damn table that everybody's supposed to be bringing something to. It's always my favorite thing to hear, because there's always these times where I feel like, oh, that's a really valid point, or you sound stupid, so go away. There's a lot to bring to the table, just both men and women. And I will say that's my lesson I wish I would have learned, and like really took to heart, was this whole equally yoked shit. But that comes from me not having the confidence and self-esteem that I should have had in my 20s. So that was definitely not equally yoked. I really wish, I'm gonna say this every time, I wish somebody would just go back in time and jump me just a little bit, like get your shit together, you can move on. But what was my question? What are things for you all? Everybody has a different situation. Vaughn, you're in a relationship. Orlin, you're in a relationship. You are married, Andre, and Jakari, I don't know what you got going on right now. I don't know if you got hoes or you blocking everybody. I don't know.
That's all it is. That's it.
You know, you already know how I move. I don't like being bothered right now. I'm too in my bag right now. So it's just
okay. Well,
I'm not.
When you're looking, put this in the perspective of when you are looking. For you, for you all, actually, this is a question. What are things a woman has to bring to the table at minimum to, be in your space or be considered as a candidate for someone that you are serious with?
But you know how typically simple it is for men? A good fucking attitude.
Man.
All the other shit really don't need. I don't need and require a bunch of all this other shit. This table that they keep bringing. I'll be like, bro, just bring it. Just be nice, be pleasant, be feminine. You know what I'm saying? Just be a woman. Shit, a pleasant woman. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't need you to make $1 million 6-figure job. I don't give a fuck about none of that because that's just how I'm raised in that 2-parent kind of system. I got the idea with marriages and all that. It don't take shit for me to provide if I want to. You know what I'm saying? And I'm real hesitant about where I put my dollars now. Just because dating is fucking expensive if you really date. You know what I'm saying? But for us, it's expensive. It can get pricey.
You really dating.
Yeah, so it's like, bro, I'm just not gonna date. Like I cannot date it. Shit just come. I could be in passing at a bar and meet somebody. I'm already there spending money. It's cool, whatever. You know what I'm saying? But the initial setups, no, I'm not doing that shit right now. Because really, the person that I'm gonna spend money on and all my, whatever, is the person that I probably already met that I seen that has a good attitude, that's reciprocating good energy. That's it. And she'll get the world, right? You ain't gotta ask for shit because I'm gonna give you everything. You know what I'm saying? So I don't need all this extra independent woman shit that they trying to build home. It's nothing that we fucking asked for. It's like most of us didn't. Or even if they did, or you got a requirement, okay, yeah, like basic adult shit, like yeah, she should probably have a job. You know what I'm saying? Just the minimum shit, like the minimal stuff, yeah, obviously, but all the extra stuff, it ain't necessary. Just a good attitude for me, like literally.
Anybody else want a little bit more than a good attitude, or y'all disagree with that?
It ain't just a good attitude. I told you it's the other basic stuff. Just be able to at least take care of her too. You know what I'm saying? Obvious.
Basic adulting skills and a good attitude. Anybody
right
else
now,
got
Morgan, you ain't showing a good attitude.
I'm just asking, anybody else got anything that like a woman had for you to consider to be take seriously, to consider to be in a relationship, a serious relationship?
So
any other?
I would say, where is her head space at? All right. Just like a lot of women don't want men that aren't able to communicate, aren't able to, just like I wouldn't say leave, but in the headspace of being able to know where they're going. What direction are you going? All right. So I would say that in the same sense for a woman. So for a woman, for me, that I would want, you gotta have be in a nice headspace, because I don't want to deal with anybody that has a lot of shit going on. If you dealing with Joe from the last fucking relationship, I don't want to deal with that shit. All right, just like you don't want to deal with my past relationship. If you haven't gotten over it, don't step my way. All right, because I wouldn't want to put that burden on you. And then of course, I'm gonna say it, like financial shit. I like a woman that's family oriented. If I can't go to your family reunion and kick it, you know what I'm saying, or I can't bring you to mine and you just bougie and just stuck up ass motherfucker, you ain't one for me. All right, be humble. I love a humble woman, but I also like an independent woman. Like I like a woman with a strong personality. Because I have a strong personality, so sometimes I need to be checked, right? Um, don't let me run over you. Just have a backbone. So that's the type of woman that I expect to have in my life, and that's what the type of woman I actually attract. Successful Black women that has their own with a backbone. So that's what I expect. So,
Vaughn?
Look, I didn't know we was running down our Tinder profiles.
You feel me? That's exactly what I was thinking.
That's
I'm like,
I'd
oh,
have
he's trying
been
to
way
set
more
it
smart.
up.
yeah, shit.
Trying to set it up. And she did say it was going on YouTube, so I understand.
Hey, right.
I mean,
Man,
like, you're the only single person. You know what? What's the ad again?
Yeah, but my list long, but it ain't. It's just that's the first one on my list, or I just can't move forward from anything else. That's just. What is that?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely feel him on that. I can say I agree with everything that everybody stated. I guess if one of them things like when I tell somebody to pick a favorite movie, if I had to pick one, I do agree with homie. The providing thing is not. I don't need you to be able to provide. I could do that. I come from a 2-parent home too, so like it's a switch for me. I can do that whenever need be. But for me, it's about communication and a good attitude. I want you to be able to sit down and talk. How are you when you get mad? How are you when you get sad? Do you want to talk to me when your family pissing you off, or are you trying to take that out? Trying to take the anger out of me and project. That's the type of stuff that will instantly make me. It'll just turn me off. Because I feel like it's real easy to communicate. It's even easier to say, "Hey, I don't want to communicate." You know what I'm saying? I feel like people make shit really, really, really hard for no apparent reason. So to be honest, I don't actually think I've ever seen my parents argue in my life. Now, that may not be healthy, but at the same token, I can say I've always seen them communicate. Everything has been a talk. So to me, I'm like, well, shit, we shouldn't have to scream at each other. We shouldn't have to cuss. You shouldn't have to call me out my name. We should be able to just have a plain conversation. You feel me? Emotions outside, which is hard, but communication is my biggest thing.
Andre, you already at the table. What for you was like those qualities that your wife had that was like, yeah.
Man, so we'll be married 10 years next year. And what I thought I wanted as a young man, I didn't want as much as I thought I did. And the things that I didn't think I liked, I appreciate so much nowadays. My wife is literally like the yin to my yang. You know what I mean? Like I'm very spontaneous and all over the place. I think it's probably the Libra in me. You know what I'm saying? But she's very structured and regimented and disciplined, right? So what I appreciate the most about her is she's very practical, right? And I mean, if we're talking outside of, she's obviously fine. My wife is fine. I'll be honest with you. She's sweet. She's nice. She works hard, and she just learns fast. Like she's a fast learner. She's one of those type of people that, you'll see people doing a line dance at a wedding or something like that. She never seen it before, and then she jump out there. She look at them do it one time, and then now she, twisting and turning and doing all those things. Those sorts of things are very, very attractive to me, only because she takes that and implements it into our relationship as well. Like if I say, hey, babe, look, this is new. This is new for both of us. I'm going to tell you, I don't like this. And it started yesterday. And she's like, oh, okay. Well, why don't you like that? She communicates well. I'm the one who's probably a little irrational when it comes to communicating, but she communicates well. And then she adjusts, So energy is also big. One of y'all mentioned it. Attitude, like my wife's not a big attitude girl, you know what I mean? Because she is confident. She's sure of herself. She's achieved a lot of her goals that she set out. So, you know, I can take her anywhere. I can take my wife to a gala. I can take my wife to a business dinner. I can take my wife to the hood. Like she's just, if I, God forbid, had I never met my wife, I would be looking for a woman like her. She's not perfect, buddy.
Look at you trying to get kudos points. Is she home now?
She's not. She got a lot. She's working on it. She need to continue to work on it, just like I do, just like everybody else does. But you know, if you're a competitive man, if you're trying to, you know, do what you need to do so that you can bring it back to the house and to your family and make some sort of impact on the world, like it's going to take a confident woman to be with that guy. That's all I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Look, I said she got some cousins.
Yeah.
Some cousins, cuz. Golly. It's the take to the gala to the hood part for me. That's what I need.
Right. Yeah, get you somebody that can do both.
Man, no,
Brittany is a hustler. I remember I don't know if I knew you then when she used to wrap the earrings and sell them, and Brittany's always been a hustler. So, you know, she's definitely all that in a bag of chips. So with that being said, we know the requirements to come sit at y'all table. I don't know if men and women have the same type of red flags that you look for to be like, nah, we're not moving forward. So are there, I know me and Kari talk about this a lot in a lot of episodes where, and this is just a thing I've seen, you know, across the board, communication for men and women, like, especially now as you get older, you realize how important that is to have an effective, healthy relationship. You have to be able to communicate and willing to communicate, or even like Vaughn said, you know, even have that moment where you say, like, this ain't the time, you know. So what are red flags for men? Dang, Orlin, you ain't got nothing to say first yet?
Shit, I mean, hey, I'll let people speak. I already wrote some shit down, but I'm good. I'll let y'all speak.
First impression in a long time, right? Obviously, but just from the things that I've heard from friends and colleagues, from observations that I've made with other people, with colleagues or friends of mine that are women, mental and emotional instability is huge. Mm-hmm. I mean, like, if you don't get me wrong, everybody have a bad day every now and then, but every day bad, or if drama always following you, like, I'm serious. Like, if I've known you for years and you always seem to be into something. Like, there's one common denominator. So that I would say that's a huge red flag.
Anybody else? Because I don't know what y'all see as red flags from women. Like, my red flags right now are petty things because I don't like getting to know people. So I can't really give an opinion on even what I feel are red flags. Everything to me is a red flag. I don't.
Yeah, you need to grow up.
I mean, I'm working on it though. I really am. I try to take inputs. I've been doing better with being open to like people's presence and like trying. I'm working on putting actual effort into adulting and shit. So it takes a lot for me to feel like, okay, I will move past this. Like, I might save your number in my phone. Baby steps. I did save a number. It might get deleted, but you know, baby steps. So what I still want to understand I definitely understood what Andre was saying. What are other red flags though? Anybody else?
So I'll tell you what I wrote down. So communication, somebody that doesn't know how to properly communicate or does not communicate at all. Like, for me, it's always been hard for me to communicate. So through these last few years, I've learned how to actually communicate, right? So that was probably a red flag for them. Now it became a red flag for me, right? Also someone who's always serious. I'm a joyful guy, like, but also I have a serious job, right? I don't like being serious all the time because when I have to be serious, it's another side of me, all right? And then I always want to laugh and shit. Like, if I can't laugh with you, bro, I promise you, like, this shit is not gonna, it's not gonna last. Like, because if you serious and I gotta be serious all the time, I promise you, it's a fucking formula for disaster, man. But that's basically it for me. That's a real red flag. Someone who can't communicate, someone who's always serious. Yeah. Oh, and someone is always out. Like, why you always out? Like, what you doing? Like, you ain't gotta be out all the time. Like, you ain't got a life, you ain't got a job or some shit like that. Like, I don't know. That just says a lot. But that's just me.
I resent that statement. I'm always outside.
I mean, but
you fight for the streets.
You know what I'm
It's
saying?
my it's my job though. So it's definitely my job.
But your face outside shows completely differently than, it's very clear outside is not for you.
It's a necessity. So.
Outside is not for you. Well, I mean, you're not really checking for nobody. So, I mean, are there any red flags when you decide, like, maybe I might deal with you for this time period or for whatever is your current?
For real, I can't remember this. I can't remember what I watched on there where it was like you should set small boundaries for people when you first meet them, just to see if they'll, accommodate your small little thing. Nothing like petty, but something like realistic, like.
Like, don't call me after this time.
Like, it was some good. It's gonna get personal for a minute. So it was a lady. I'm gonna call her a lady now because I don't like her no more.
Not a female.
So the lady, she was older than me. Like, I'm 32. She was like 37, and it would always kind of been like a back and forth kind of thing. And I had told her to stop calling me a little boy, like just little shit like that. It's like, yo, I'm still a grown man. I was like, at the end of the day, I'm not the one you chasing me down. So I feel like something already wrong with you anyway, especially when you keep calling me a little boy. You know what I'm saying? So I already know what you're here for anyway. You know what I'm saying? But just like little shit like that. And she kept calling me all night. And every just little bit, I just kept losing respect for her because I'm like, I just asked you to just call me by my name. Something fucking simple. You know what I'm saying? I can imagine. She always talking about being in a relationship. I could imagine being in a relationship with a person like that can't respect that little boundary. Because now when it's the big shit, you know what I'm saying? Now I can't count on you to, you know what I'm saying, respect my big boundary now. You know what I'm saying? Boundaries is always a problem, I feel like, in any relationship where people just, where it breaks down or where people, split up. Is just they're not respecting each other's boundaries. Or communicating what their boundaries are, or being able to comprehend. So just, I don't know, I guess like little red flags like that, and just people listening. When I'm not gonna say, well, women for me, because I date women. So women, when they don't listen or when they don't comprehend or when they don't even try to comprehend, I'm just automatically, I just put them in a little box or whatever. Like, I call her on a late night at 3 a.m., 4 a.m., some shit like that.
So on the communication, on the whole box them thing, I did hear something before, kind of moving from that, and I think we talked about it too, how men feel like they can't talk to the person that they're in a relationship with. Like, once you kind of fuck that up, that's it.
Yeah.
Is that for everybody? Is that for everybody, Kyrie? Your opinion on it. Orlin, Vaughn, Andre, have y'all had that issue where, like, you've tried to go to the person that you were or in a relationship with, and they weren't receptive of what you were saying, and so you kind of just like, I ain't coming back to you when something's serious. Whether it happened like once or twice, but does that happen for y'all too?
I mean, I think it happens to everybody. Yeah, I think it happens to everybody, like men and women. It's like you having a conversation with me, and I'm just like, it could be any kind of type of conversation, and you just might be venting, and you just sitting there, and I just be like, oh, that's crazy, and then I go on to something else. All right, like I, if I ever had a relationship like that, like yeah, bro, I'm never coming to you. I'm gonna fuck. Like I'm gonna go talk to my boys. I might talk to an ex. I might talk to my cousins. I might talk to whoever. But damn sure ain't gonna be your ass. Cause there ain't no point. So yeah, once you burn that shit, you burn that shit, and that's
Look,
it.
I don't want to say I speak for all of it. I'm sure we at least heard it once, like trying to communicate with somebody you really felt, and they'd be like, "Oh, you know what? You acting like a bitch, or
Yep,
you
or you
complaining,
look
or
too
you
emotional or something like
just
that.
be too emotional, or you just like, damn, this little simple shit, but I gotta listen to all of your gripes and bitches and all this shit." And it's like, all right, this is the last time I'm probably talking. That's the problem me and my ex-wife had. I tried to talk to her just multiple times, like and telling her, like, look, we ain't boyfriend or girlfriend, we married. We gotta let's talk this shit out. Man, you complaining too much. All right, well, fuck it. I'm not gonna try to communicate no more. Like, what's the point?
Like
And
you
I'll
said,
say, jump off, but I think the biggest part of that upsets me is that anytime someone genuinely comes to you and they try to share their heart and you insult them or you're not accommodating or receptive and you say that you care about them, you just create another asshole. You know what I'm saying? Now that person's probably going to take that into whatever next relationship they have, and they're not going to want to open up or talk about things. And you know,
that's Morgan. That's definitely happened. I like you said. He definitely speaks for everybody. I've heard that once or twice. Unfortunately, when you can voice your opinions and you can actually voice what's going on in the situation, and the other person can't, it makes them extremely uncomfortable. And again, the lack of communication comes in because they don't know how to say, "Hey, you know what? I'm uncomfortable by how well you just worded your emotions." It's just it's funny actually how hard it is for people to do those very simple things, or to just sit there and tell somebody, "Hey, I'm not really interested in what you got going on." Um, that's a very difficult thing to do, and honestly, once you burn that bridge, for me, yeah, that's hard. I'm not gonna ever probably tell you anything else because like I'm an artist. I do music, so I'm sensitive about pretty much anything I'm gonna tell you. So God forbid I open up and tell you my feelings or how I feel about a situation and you blow me over. It's not gonna be good for you, unfortunately, because then I'm sitting there doing
So
damage control myself.
will all of y'all agree then once that happens, there's no coming back from that, or is it something that could be, fixed?
Depends. Honestly, I think it depends on how apologetic you are when I guess when I reproach the situation and I come back to it, maybe 2 days later and I say, hey, you know what? I really didn't like the way you handled that, I guess Monday or Tuesday, and I really liked the way that went. You feel me? Because I really sat there and tried to actually divulge to you what was going on, and you pretty much just politician dance around my question. For me, it's about how you handle that. Because if you handle that wrong, and we go into arguing from there, it's a wrap. It's accountability for me.
Accountability, that's always the key word.
Yeah.
Anybody else? Orlin, Kari?
So I guess it's anything is possible, right? It's so how frequent does it happen? Is it something that continuously happen? And if it's something that's continuously happening, then nah. But if it's honestly like how me and my girlfriend are, like I told you, I'm still working on my communication skills, right? And sometimes I rub her the wrong way. Luckily, she has that patience where she works with me, and she understands like I'm not trying to like how I come off. I'm not actually trying to portray that or actually trying to state the way that I'm saying it. So luckily, she understands where I'm coming from. But even with that, how long you gonna deal with that shit? You know what I'm saying? Like, how long are you gonna be able to deal with somebody that continuously doesn't get your point, all right, or doesn't understand how to talk to you, or understand that we are a team. But once you, if it's not a continuous thing, then we can always get past something, right? What's your actual intent is for me. Like, is your intent to understand, is your intent to actually, hear me out? Was it just a fuck up, saying at one time? And if it was, okay, cool, or, a few times or whatever. Like you might have been going through something your damn self where you just wasn't paying attention. Which that happened before. Like she wasn't paying attention to me one time and then boom, like I was like, bro, I don't feel like talking. And she came back and was like, look, I'm sorry, that's not my intent. I have multiple things going on and stuff like that. So, of course you can get past that. But
Kari, anybody coming back?
Just depends on who it is, how frequent. Same thing he said pretty much. But typically where I'm at now, like fuck it.
But I have to grow up.
I'm just saying I don't feel like coaching people who claim to be adults all the time. But most of the people or most of the women I meet that say I know how to communicate, I'm really good at it. That's yeah, we'll find out. You know what I'm saying? Because it'd be little simple shit that I'll be trying to bring up, and they just be like, you have no idea what listening really even is. Like you're responding before you even hear me, but you're not listening. You're not taking in the information. You're not processing shit. You're just talking. You know what I'm saying? So I be over it now because I'm talking to people older than me and my age. So it's just like, nah, I ain't got time for it. I mean, a lot of younger women who get it than older women. So, but I ain't in the market to date nobody in their 20s. So,
and I was just gonna say that too. I think people are always hollering, communication, but communication, part of communication is also listening. And people think, oh, I'm a good listener. You can always come talk to me. It's not always the case because sometimes somebody's not always approaching you to just, they just want to talk. They don't want a solution. They don't want you to dissect the issue or where you went wrong and tell you this, that, and the third. It's also, I just want you to listen, understand my frustration, tell me I'm okay or I'm right, or don't tell me nothing and just let me say it all.
You know what's funny, bro? My girl always say that shit because I'm a person that solve problems. So when she come vent to me, I already like, well, shit, maybe you need to do this, maybe you need to do that, maybe you need to do this, or maybe think of this, think of that. And she just be like, bro, shut the fuck up. I'm not here for you to, I didn't talk to you.
Yeah, she's not here for solutions, bro.
Not at all, fam. They just want that vent. It's the air
it don't even be that we don't know the solution sometimes either. It's just like, let me talk this shit out and tell you how, Samantha was being a bitch. Like, damn.
They already know that. They know the answer.
Frustrated with me.
Right. They knew the answer before they came to tell us.
Come with like a hey, I'm just before we start, I don't want a solution.
Communication, bro.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
And I
also
saw something
with that.
Right.
Yes, yeah. And I also saw something about that too. When you come and before you approach somebody to tell them your problems, like also check like, hey, are you in a headspace to have me vent to you? Because sometimes they got shit they dealing with too, so they probably don't want to hear about your problems and don't give a fuck. Like that's not the time to communicate that with me because you might not get the results that you're looking for, which would then result in that whole, you ain't listening. I'm not fucking with you no more. So. I thought that was something cool that I saw, which is like just asking somebody permission to vent to them or just like, let me come and talk to you and can I give you my problems at this time? Do you have the headspace for that? So it's communication is always key, of course. And I learned, well, I already knew, if I don't feel like you are comprehending what I'm saying and I get frustrated, unfortunately I cry when I'm frustrated and I hate that shit. Like I don't like arguing. I don't like confrontation. So if I'm telling you my feelings and I'm finally saying shit to get it off my chest and like move past it, and you're not like, I'll start to cry when you start like, just listen, just fucking listen. And I don't like that at all. It's like one of my biggest pet peeves. Like if you're not listening to me, you bringing me to a point where I feel like I'm going to cry. I don't like talking to people no more. So that's why it's hard for me now to just, I take everything at face value. I probably already have believe what you're saying, and it's something I know I have to work on. I think I've always been a decent listener, but like as I've listened to and read, posts on males' perspectives and things just like that in general, because that's what I'm attracted to. That's kind of the opinions that I need to be a successful partner to someone. So I try to take those opinions and things and to grow from where I was, because that shit was hella toxic, and I don't want to be that person. I don't want to be in another toxic relationship. I don't want to just friendships, I don't really deal with a lot of family anyway, so that's easy. But so with that being said, like, respect. Do y'all feel Black men are respected by Black women? Maybe as in a whole, like, trying to figure out how to best ask this.
Yeah, you see my face, right?
Shut up.
We've been on here a minute.
Okay, so this is my last question anyway, and I just wanted to wrap it up with that. With that being said, do y'all feel that Black men get respect?
On it, look, I'll answer it fast. On the internet, no. In real life, yeah. It's just like, for real. Like on the internet, no. I think it's that small percentage of people who see the same bullshit in rotation every day that feel like that, when it's really a lot of women who really fucking respect us. Like, it's just depending on if it's reciprocated or not. Like,
on the setting, to be honest with you, shit.
Yeah, because I believe in this social engineering shit is real for a reason.
100% it is.
Yeah, so as far as it took me some time to get there. I used to think like, like what the fuck? But then I started applying it to my real life instead of what I'm seeing on the internet. And it's like, oh shit, like I'm fucking tripping. Like, why am I listening to these motherfuckers? You know what I'm saying? Behind the keyboard that don't go outside. You know what I'm saying? They don't go outside enough to even
to really know what's going on.
Yeah, to really know what's going on. And I realize how much I'm out in the world, as much as I travel, and all the people that I meet. I'm constantly meeting people. Like, I never got, like, I've been blatantly disrespected by some Black women just because, but it's just the nature of the business that I'm in. And I corrected it, and I'd be like, what's your problem? And I end up, it really be some other shit. It's just got to open the lines of communication. Like, but as far as, like I said, on the internet, hell no, they don't respect us because it's just that platform to be able to just vent because people are fucking emotional.
Which is funny because both of you do like asshole shit, like post some shit, somebody's gonna come on your post.
Oh, I'm gonna start a fire.
You don't. Yeah, you just.
I start fires and I just get off the post.
Both of you do the same thing. I see the post and I be like, I'm just gonna keep scrolling because this ain't my business. I ain't got no. Yeah, I see it. Like,
I know what I be doing. I just be wanting to see how people act. But I be knowing these
comment
people.
back on nothing. I'd be like, damn.
Hell no, I don't comment for shit. Hey, this is your platform event. Let me see who's dumbasses out here. All right.
Well, let me see what
and I know these people, and I know these people in real life, and I'd be like, it ain't. You know what I'm saying? It ain't what it really is for real. You know what I'm saying? That same energy ain't applied in real life. So I think it's really just an internet fucking thing, because I think a lot of people, or let's just say men and women, we base our experiences from the people that we met and try to project that on everybody the fuck else. So it's just like, oh, I had this shitty ass fucking relationship with like 10 girls, fuck the other 1 billion other women in the world. Fuck them. You know what I'm saying? They all think the same. And it takes some time to get out of that. I had my little hate women phase between my divorce and
he's on the He-Man Women Haters Club.
You know what I'm saying? I started learning as I was cruising in my 30s. Like, all right, yeah, I need to take a step back. I'm tripping. Every woman ain't like this. You know what I'm saying? Oh. So, I think it's just the internet, that bullshit. As far as, we only in 13 fucking places in this fucking country. Like, predominantly. And when you go to these Black communities, you see Black people, fucking Black people. Like, regardless of respect, people gonna fight and argue all the fucking time, but at some point the respect is still fucking there. Oh, man. So that's my take. I don't know if somebody gonna go against the grain. I hope so.
Anybody else? All right. Well, we definitely been on here for a nice little minute, so I appreciate everybody's time. So before we wrap it up, I do want to get one piece of advice from everybody. It don't matter who it's to, who it's from, even if it's advice to your younger self. Just anything. Don't leave the house with the stove on. I really don't care what you advise. Just give me a piece of advice. Vaughn, what you got?
Man, what? I was getting ready to open my mouth. I say this to everybody that doesn't have kids, to all my friends in their relationships. I say this, and I'm pretty sure y'all will second me. Do not even think, and here's the way, because once you're there, you're already there. Don't have sex with somebody that you're not okay with having a child with without a condom. That's what I wish somebody would have told me. Just that. Nothing else. You feel me? Because I don't regret anything except where I went for college. You know what I'm saying? I don't regret my kids. But if I could choose things a little bit differently, you feel me? I just would have maneuvered. You know what I'm saying? Or I would have stuck in one of them, since literally I got two different baby mamas. You feel me? I would have picked one. That's why I'm like, that's one. I think that's something you tell everybody, man. If you don't think, I would tell people that. I'm like, y'all think y'all gonna be able to be friends? Because if y'all don't think y'all can be friends, you don't need to be trying to have a baby with that person. Because worst case scenario, that's gonna be your best friend, not your wife. So that's it. That's about it.
All right. And do you want to add your Instagram or anything else where everybody can follow you?
Man, honestly, the best place to find me, because me giving out my Instagram name may be hard, but Instagram name is 80 rounds _ Yoda, 80 rounds _ Yoda. But the best way to find me, for real, is just go to Google and Google #vibes 4 free. That's pretty much my business. That's my mantra. That's my everything. That will pretty much show you, like I said, the best gist of me, get you to all my information, all my music, my website, all of that.
All right. Appreciate you. Orlin, what's your advice?
My advice, man, everyone isn't worthy of having you or being in your space. If I would have taught myself that at a young age, man, my body count probably been so low. Like,
that's what I'm saying, bro. Sorry.
That's real.
All y'all for the streets.
Man, I was for the street. I'm retired. Appreciate you, though.
That's what I'm saying. I sure was, but I'm chilly chill.
But that's it for me.
All right. I know you're usually pretty low key. You want to share your social media?
Instagram odub_91. That's it.
All right. All right.
Man. And I guess I want to say, like yourself, shit, keep running my race, doing shit on my terms. Do what make you happy, and don't live by what everybody else wants you to do, pretty much. So that's about it for me. And wear condoms. Shit.
Man, what? Man, what?
We know the raw sex is fun. We know, but it's gonna cost you. It can cost you.
Man, it's gonna cost you a whole way. It's gonna cost you no matter what.
Well, it's gonna cost you.
All right, you always give your IG, so go ahead.
So y'all already know your gracious co-host from Yo Baby Daddy and shit, Ferrari Car 313, Ferrari Car 313. If you want to follow, I'll be back with my master on the 15th, slaving away at my bodyguard job. So follow me and watch that exciting, crazy rock star life.
Just save the world, Craig.
Mm-hmm.
I do got a piece of advice. Just keep swimming.
And what?
No cap.
You gotta be specific.
I ain't got no more advice. Y'all done gave all the good stuff. Wrap it up. Don't have children with assholes and the people that'll make you work hard to be in your child's life. You know, it really shouldn't be that complicated if things don't work out. But you know, it is what it is. You learn and keep moving. But again, I really, really do appreciate all y'all being on here and taking the time to give your opinions and things. I appreciate it so much. And until next time, bye.
Peace.